Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
Good evening, everyone. This meeting was called for Monday, January 22nd, 2024 at 7:30 p.m. at Borough Hall located at 77 Summerhill Road, Spotswood, New Jersey, pursuant to the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10-4-8B. The public may choose to attend this meeting electronically via Google Meet. This meeting was advertised on the Spotswood website and in the Home News Tribune.
Councilman Kramer?
Here.
Councilman Lesko?
Here.
Councilwoman Schwartz? Here. Councilman Zaborni?
Here.
Council President Legakis?
Here.
Mayor Palmer? Is she on virtually? No.
Okay, we'll begin tonight with our engineer report.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, all. On behalf of the Borough Engineer, I submit tonight's report. For items number 1 and number 2, there currently is no update. And for item number 3, the 2023 NJDOT roadway improvements of West End, Latour, and Walker, we've resubmitted to NJDOT and are waiting on their approval. We'll go out to bid as soon as we have that and schedule that with the clerk.
Any questions on the engineer report? All right, thank you.
We have an ordinance on first reading. Public hearing is set for Monday, February 26, 2024. Ordinance 2024-1, calendar year 2024 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a CAFE, NJSA 40A:4-45.14. We also have resolutions under consent agenda. Resolutions 2024-33 through 2024-40. 2024-33, resolution of the Borough Council of the Borough of Spotswood to provide for the transfer of year 2023 budget appropriations. 2024-34, resolution, resolution appointing Natasha Turchin as tax and utility collector. 2024-35, resolution authorizing totally disabled veteran tax exemption for property known as 44 Adirondack Avenue. 2024-36, resolution to approve a property deduction claim by a veteran. 2024-37, resolution authorizing the execution of a non-fair and open contract for special counsel legal services. 2024-38, resolution authorizing the lease renewal between the Borough of Spotswood and Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 4589. 2024-39, authorizing retainage release for Brooklyn Ave and various capital improvements in the Borough of Spotswood, and 2024-40, payment of bills.
Thank you.
Make a motion to open public comment on the caucus agenda only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. The public comment portion of the Spotswood Borough Council meeting is to allow the public to bring to council's attention their concerns or comments in accordance with NJSA 10-4-12A, as well as Spotswood Borough Ordinances 2-18 and 2-19, except upon consent of the council president. Each person addressing the council in the case of a resolution shall limit their remarks to 3 minutes, and in the case of an ordinance shall limit their remarks to 5 minutes total for the meeting. No person shall direct any remarks or questions to any specific council member except by permission of the council president. Any council member through the council president may choose to answer a question, but they are not obligated to do so. All persons wishing to address the council shall do so from the podium or other location specified by the council president. Each person addressing the council must identify themselves by name and address. If said person is representing a business organization, they shall further state whether their comments are their personal view or those of the group they represent. Any questions?
Okay, I won't move it. It's stuck. Diane Charlesworth, 29 Old State Road. On the bill list, on the front page, about 3/4 of the way down, is a bill for reimbursement for training for Kim Karis, Polish name, I'll say it, I'm sorry. For $760. What was the training for?
She's attending CFO class. Reimbursement for the CFO class. Thank you.
Okay, so will she be taking Natasha's place?
We currently have advertised for the position to see about getting a licensed individual since the tax collector retired, and we're looking to try and have that position together. The retirement went into effect on December 31st, and we're still in the process of interviewing.
Interviewing people for CFO or tax collector?
We advertised for a joint position.
Okay,
One of the big things that have been coming up to me here is that people want somebody that's either here in the building. In a small town like this, it's hard to attract somebody to full-time employment. So if you offer two positions, that's a higher salary. Most CFOs also have a CTC license, which is a tax collector license.
okay, gotcha. Noticeably lacking from the bills list are charges for Mrs. Flynn for her work for us for October, November, and December. And I'm wondering when we can expect those.
Did you want to answer that? Vicky, or
I
Ron?
will answer that. When I go over to look at this material in my bills, they contain sensitive legal information that I want to review with the
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
who pays you? The borough pays you, right? I'm asking you, Ms. Flynn.
I understand that, but I'm trying to follow the rules for it. I don't want to.
Not a, feel free to.
Who pays my bills? The borough stock.
Okay, and who is the borough of Spotswood?
So Board is a municipal corporation that pays the bills. And I work with, it's approved by the mayor and the business administration.
Okay, but the borough of Spotswood on its own does not generate any income, does it? It comes from taxpayers, correct?
Oh, yeah.
So in essence, the taxpayers are your employers.
I'm not employed by the borough either.
You're a borough attorney, you are employed by the borough.
No, I'm a public contractor, so at this point in time, I'm not an employee.
But it is taxpayer funds being used to pay.
Absolutely.
Okay, do the taxpayers have a right to know what your bills are for the last 3 months of 2023?
As soon as they're approved by the mayor and the BA and going through it, yeah. they have
Okay,
to go through the
January,
bill
it's
list.
January 22nd today, correct? January 22nd?
Today is January 22nd.
Okay. My fear is this. I know that you're authorized for 2024 to work and submit bills up to $44,000. My fear is that some of the bills from 2024 inadvertently get slipped into 2023.
Well, that's some charge to make against a person who is licensed by the state of New Jersey. I live by an ethical code that no one here at this dais lives by. It's a rules of professional conduct. And for you to make that accusation.
I didn't make an
Yeah,
accusation.
you are about
I
making
did not make an
accusation.
accusation.
It's your fear. That
My
I
fear,
don't
not an
not build
accusation.
properly, And I don't ever think, no person has ever made an accusation like that or insinuated a fear would be that I wouldn't adhere to the rules of professional conduct in billing a client, especially a municipal client.
Well, why is it taking you so long?
It's not, my bills are done. I have to go over it because there's sensitive information in it. And I have to also look at the budget. For instance, if you don't have enough money in your budget for this year, I'm gonna cut even more time. And every month that I billed throughout this entire year, due to the increase in the legal services needed for this borough, I've had to tell and talk with the administration about the fact I've cut time. So I don't think you have your fear that I would actually bill more time in another year. That's
Unfounded.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's totally unfounded.
Okay.
I would never do that. And I've left money on the table already this year working for the borough of Spotswood. I mean, that's what I do. So totally unfounded, not gonna happen. My bills are for the days upon which I work. On those days, that's what they were.
Okay. Council President, is there anything we can do to compel her to submit her bills by the next meeting, which is on February 26th?
Based on what Vicky is telling us, they have to go over with the mayor and his
a month.
administrator, so
It's 4
I can,
weeks.
of course, I can speak with the administration to see if we can have that done for our next meeting.
The answer is no. So the 2023 budget remains in reserve for the entire year of 2024. So any bills that come in for 2023 have to be charged into the 2023 budget. Now, we have to transfer budget items within the first 3 months. So it's subject to what you can transfer around within 3 months. And that's the reason why you try to have bills in within the first 3 months. However, if a bill is submitted in proper form and the person was authorized to do the work during that time, I have to pay them all the way up until 2024. I know the end of it. That's what public contract law dictates.
Is it possible to make a resolution that would require vendors to submit their bills to us within 30 days?
I would assume that we can pass a resolution to do that, yes.
Okay.
But again, I think we have to,
Would circumvent the state public contracts law, so then that vendor could take you. Could sue the town.
I was gonna basically.
We don't govern public contract. So public contract law is a state law that's passed by the legislature. I don't know where. That is what dictates how public contracts within the state of New Jersey can operate and be paid. So we have to adhere to those standards, and you would have our licensed individuals like the QPA, the CFO, those individuals start coming forward to you and saying, you can pass whatever resolutions you want. My license and my livelihood's on the line. I'm going to do what the state tells me to do because they're the one who licensed me to do that work.
Okay. So to answer your question, that would, and I was going to finish by saying that would be a discussion that we have to have with the administration to find out what we can and can't do.
Okay. How much will Natasha be paid for her new position as tax collector?
But I'm going to revert back to this. What was given to the clerk was that she was being paid the same thing that Colleen was getting
Well, I don't know what Colleen's being paid, so.
paid. I have to.
$7,000 or $9,000 off the top of my head, but
A month?
no, for the whole year. It's going to take me a little bit to get in the time point, so if you have any other questions.
No, that's it for now.
Rich O'Brien, 11 Hudson Avenue. Good evening, everyone. I just had 2 quick questions on the bills list also. PO number 240097 in the amount of $49.45.25. Emergency oil cleanup. Where was that? And what was that event?
I'm not sure exactly.
So that was the police department. There was evidence that they had that they.
Microphone, please.
It happened in the police sally port, and it was evidence that they supposedly had in the sally port, which was cooking oil in a van or something. I don't know. That required us to to have it cleaned up.
Okay, thank you. And the last one was 23-01513 in the amount of $1,098.44. Senior Appreciation Breakfast. Was that an event at the Office on Aging at the Senior Center?
With the police department.
You know.
With the police department.
Okay,
This line is from the police department budget.
okay, so Councilwoman, do you remember? I'm sure you were in attendance.
No, I was not.
Oh, okay.
It was between the police department and the office paycheck.
So we don't, any idea of how many people attended?
I have no idea.
Okay,
That I don't know. I just know that I looked up that purchase order, so it's through the police
I
department.
mean, $1,100 for bagels. That's a lot of folks.
I'm
why
wondering
cream
if it was
cheese?
I don't know if it was it could have been a full heater breakfast,
Sure.
right? And that it was not that specific on the purchase order as to what exactly.
Okay, but it was police and the seniors at the OOA.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And to
Thank you.
clarify to the question, it's $7,000 was the stipend for technical.
Good. Right. Good evening. Ed Sealy. 88 Elm Street, Spotswood, New Jersey. Okay, first question I would have is, special counsel, what's that for?
The resolution to appoint, Parker McKay.
What information can we get on that?
They're investigating four matters for the town.
Okay, understood. Another question would be mold remediation on the bill list. Where do we have mold problem?
I believe that was in the police department. Am I correct?
There and in the mechanical room and the hallway to the mechanical.
It's all cleaned up now? Next one would be Sablee, Clooney and Company CPA, 32.5. I believe that is our audit.
Super, sorry.
Yes, super, yes.
Yeah, that's the order.
That's okay, that's your order. All right. The last one, Z Brothers Concrete Contracting, $13,549.
So that is the resolution that's on, I believe it's resolution 2024-39. This resolution was approved back at the meeting in November. And it was for final payment, but it also called for the retainage to be released to that company. And it was not, you said in the resolution retainage, but you didn't call out the amount. The contractor reached out to the engineer. And when we reviewed the bill that was processed through the resolution, it was only for the final payment. So there was $13,000 in retainage. They do have a maintenance bond, so we'll be under a maintenance bond for 2 years as required under public contracts law. And any public contract, you end up putting it on maintenance bond for 2 years. If anything comes up that's wrong, and you correct it after the project is. So that's the reason it goes hand in hand with that resolution. I was not here at that meeting in November, so that's why I was just.
Okay, my other questions are going to go towards the transfer, budget transfer. December 18th, you transferred $125,000 into police salary and wages. That's into. It's 1 month later, you're taking out $230,000. What happened here? I mean, if you needed $125,000 to pay the bill, how do we need $230 all of a sudden?
The trends that we were seeing in the payroll for the police department view that there potentially would need to be an additional funds within the salary line. Since we have a meeting that then has 2 weeks prior to the end of the year, and also December was a 3-pay month, the meeting fell before 2 payrolls had to be completed. In that process, we wanted to make sure. I'm a big stickler. You guys have had in the past that you have overexpended a budget at the end of the year. Natasha and I went through the entire budget to make sure that we weren't going to have any over expenditures. So that's what we ended up doing. And we put that money in just in case for overtime, holiday, payouts of time that were required under the contract, just to make sure that we had the funds in there. We ended up finishing the year a lot lighter than what we anticipated.
Okay, so basically an insurance policy.
Yes.
Based on each number.
Yeah.
All right, on the same note, $90,000 December 18th on legal expenses, $100,000 this month on legal expenses.
So that money is being transferred in to anticipation if we do the bills in, just in case there will be
Same
another
thing.
transfer.
Same thing. Okay, and my last thing before I step down here is just actually a piece of advice from the public. If you choose to get up here and make what some people may consider like an accusation, always use the word opinion. You can't be sued. As long as you say it's your opinion. Be back later.
Thank you. Make a motion to close the public portion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. This meeting was called for Monday, January 22nd, 2024 at 7:30 PM at Borough Hall located at 77 Summerhill Road, Spotswood, New Jersey. Pursuant to the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10-4-8B, the public may choose to attend this meeting electronically via Google Meet. This meeting was advertised on the Spotswood website and the Home News Tribune.
Councilman Kramer?
Here.
Councilman Lesko?
Here.
Councilwoman Schwartz? Here. Councilman Zaborni?
Here.
Council President Legakis?
Here.
And Mayor Plummer's absent.
This time I ask everybody to please rise and salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Maybe I'm very slight. At this time, we are going to go into a closed session to discuss some legal updates. So we have a resolution.
Okay. Whereas the Council of the Borough of Spotswood is subject to the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act, whereas the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey generally requires that all meetings and public bodies be open to the public, and whereas the Open Public Meetings Act further provides that a public body may exclude the public from a portion of a meeting at which time the public body discuss items enumerated in the Open Public Meetings Act at NJSA 10:4-12B, which items are recognized as requiring confidentiality, and whereas it's necessary to provoke the Council of the Borough of Spotswood to discuss certain matters in a meeting not open to public consistent with NJSA 10:4-12B. Now therefore be it resolved by the Borough of Spotswood pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey shall enter closed executive session to discuss the following matters that are exempt from disclosure at open public meeting. Attorney-client matters are privileged under the attorney-client privilege or private privilege, personnel matters, and public contract. Is there a motion?
Motion to go to closed session.
Second.
All in favor?
Specifically, since you stated personnel, no individual personnel, this happening are going to be discussed, correct? Because we had not raised these. Okay. So I'm sure that was-
Make a motion to reopen the public portion of the meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Council President, council members, I'll take a motion to adopt ordinance 2024-1 on first reading.
Make a motion to adopt ordinance 2024-1 on first reading.
Second.
Councilman Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Lesko?
Yes. Yes.
Councilwoman Schwartz?
Yes.
Councilman Zaborni?
Yes.
And Council President Legakis?
Yes.
Council President, council members, I'll take a motion to accept resolutions on consent agenda, resolutions 2024-33 through 2024-40.
Make a motion to adopt resolution 2024-33 through 2024-40.
Second.
Councilman Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Lesko?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schwartz?
Yes.
Councilman Zaborni?
Yes.
And Council President Legakis?
Yes. At this time, I'll ask if anybody has any comments from the dais. Councilwoman Schwartz.
No comment.
Thank you. Councilman Brown.
Yeah, nothing.
Thank you.
Councilman Lester? Not tonight, thank you.
Councilman Zaborni.
Yes, I do. Good evening, everybody. Culture and Heritage will be meeting this Thursday, 7 p.m. at the VFW. Spotswood Board of Ed meeting was postponed due to the weather the other night on the 16th. I don't have a rescheduled date at this time. No words on Youth Council at this time. But I do want to make a very interesting point. So I was reading My Central Jersey today. I do a couple of websites every day and follow. And they had on the front page a statement about thrift shops. I really thought that was neat, and I was following along. And I'm a big proponent of where I could give charity, and I've always found through my life, learned this from my grandmother, through rummage sales and whatnot, but through the thrift shops. And they actually listed the shop at St. Peter's here in Spotswood, and they made a mention of the hours. They made a mention of where you could get items and whatnot. So I always say it every week. I enjoy going there. And I also encourage everybody to visit because it's a really good way to donate what you can. So I just want to say in that article that was highlighted. But that's it. Everything else. Oh, thank you to all the first responders, administration, DPW, everybody who took care of the streets, all the snow. It's made our roads safe and also for themselves safe as well. And I hope you guys were just as well. That's last few days. Thank you, and I'm proud to serve.
Thank you, Councilman Zaborni. I'd like to second that in terms of DPW and our emergency services and the job that they did over the last week with the storms that we had.
Council President, I'm sorry. I need to correct something. I misspoke at the question about the senior appreciation breakfast. Mr. O'Brien, was that you?
Yes.
Okay, I misspoke. I apologize. It was not the Office of Aging. It was actually Crescent Park with Tammy Medici. That was my mistake. I just saw on there that it said seniors with the police department. So the purchase order, I read it correctly. So I just wanted to correct that.
Thank you for correcting it. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to open the public portion of the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. At this time, you can come up and talk about anything that you want.
I thought he had to read off every.
Nope, I'm good. I read it before.
Nancy Cordello, 34 Polonia Street. This is for Brandon. I'd like to know, because I've been speaking, well, emailing with John also, and I know you get the correspondence back. If the vendor with East Brunswick then has been approved and moving forward.
We have a quote for the staying and neutering services. I need to get a contract written up by legal counsel, and then there would need to be a meeting with the colony caretakers to go over roles and responsibilities and who would be responsible under the contract to take animals to be serviced under the contract. So we have to kind of establish a rules and regulations plan, and then we can go forward. But we have a quote. I need a contract to have that go forward. And in order to have the contract, we're going to need to name common caretakers.
And that's at East Brunswick.
Let me ask you this then. Isn't it wise, because right now we only have, I believe, what, 2 colony caretakers, is Sharon and also the DPW. Why don't you put it on the site so at least people can be aware, the residents can be aware what's involved in everything, because they're very hesitant right now on doing so. A lot of these people are trapping and doing it out of pocket and bringing them to PFA, which the vendor over here in East Brunswick would be more convenient for us. I mean, that's going to be the issue right now. A lot of people just want to, if they're going to trap it, I mean, couldn't
Well,
they
we can
do
only
it?
trap if they're a colony caretaker.
There only could be a colony caretaker in order to trap. There can't be an individual that could get.
Under state law, you're not permitted to trap an animal. So that's why we have to have strict rules on how this is going to be governed. So I don't just want anybody willy-nilly going to East Brunswick and saying, hey, neuter my.
No, I know it'd be abused by residents that want to do their own home cat. That's why with, also with PFA, there's vouchers. And that's why I was gonna suggest too, to have vouchers for this program to be enacted and everything. And I'm also saying that it'd be wise maybe put something online about colony caretakers, because a lot of people are very hesitant to even participate with
We can put it online. I mean, we'd have to first see if East Brunswick Animal Hospital would accept vouchers.
to go.
Yeah, I only negotiated a price.
Right,
and a
which I
contract-
already know. Yes, I already know
Contracted
that.
amount. I would be uncomfortable unless the borough had a contract in place with them.
Okay, is there any way I could, instead of keep contact with Lorraine, could I be in the loop on this so I at least
Well,
know?
and you were asked to be part of the meeting, so the next step
Yes.
now that I'm back from paternity leave
Right.
is to start setting meetings. So
Oh, okay,
At this point, probably I'll be in for the rest of the week. I can try and get a hold of you to maybe, let's try and set something up next week that we can discuss those items, because I think the contract's gonna have to spell out who's gonna be permitted to act with East Brunswick. And I don't want every.
oh, you know, right now, that's why they were letting me to use my name and the doctor who was gonna give the okay.
You would have to then sign up to be a colony caretaker.
Okay, so you'll keep me in the loop on this
Yeah.
one. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. Ryan Smith, 53 Lord Clark Circle, and a life member of the VFW in Spotswood. The commander who's suffering terribly down in Florida right now, 75-degree weather and sunshine, asked me to come to the meeting and thank you folks for renewing our lease. And I did want to give you a little on the side here. John J. Carney is the name of our post. John J. Carney was a councilman in Spotswood for better than a decade. So that's just a little aside. And to tell you that I'll be back at 105 in 25 years to get another resolution.
We look forward to having you back. Thank you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Colleen Ronco, Open Alpha Road. First of all, I'll be more than happy to be a colony caretaker. So where do I get the application from, Brandon?
I first have to figure out what the parameters are. So it's.
Well, that's already been done in an ordinance. So the whole program's already in place because, back in the day when it was done, which I think was probably 3 years ago, 4 years ago at this point, Jackie and I had a long conversation about it. So the parameters are already in place. The ordinance just needs to be looked up in the original information pulled from that ordinance. So I have no problem. There was an application at one point online, so we do have an application. So, I'll be more than happy to be a colony caretaker.
Thank you.
And I just have one other, observation I want to make. I know that you guys just went into an executive meeting. I'm a little concerned that if that meeting was about the current lawsuit that's up there, that we have an attorney that was in that meeting who is also representing the mayor.
Ed Sealy, 80 Elm Street, Spotswood, New Jersey. I want to talk about butterflies.
I'm sorry.
I want to talk about butterflies. I said I could talk about anything.
Sure.
I take it if there is no action being taken in the closed session you just asked.
Oh, we should, yes, you need to. No action was.
Sorry.
Thank you. That was something I supposed to have said. Yes, he caught on to that pretty quick there,
I
didn't he?
apologize.
Since there was no action being taken, this is not my opinion, it's my point of view. I think it was a little rude that you had this thing right in the middle of our meeting. When you could have had this at the end of the meeting and all these people could have did their business and went home. I mean, it's just, for decades, closed session was always at the end of the meeting. It's only since this new administration, or I shouldn't say administrator, because you guys have been a whole administration for a year yet, that, it changed. Now, did you call this closed session? or-
I did, yes. I apologize.
No,
Some things needed to be discussed.
that's okay, but they could have been discussed later since there was no action. Just say.
And it should be clarified since my position was brought up. I don't control this meeting. It's a council meeting. I'm just a guest.
Yeah, we know that.
So I can't tell them when to do
I know that.
closed session or
No,
not.
no.
Okay.
I know this. I'm well aware. I wasn't implying you whatsoever. So, please don't be on the offense about it. Okay, we're gonna go back a little bit. There's still, as to date, on the website, is no July or August minutes from 2023. Upon further investigation, there's also, was 3 meetings the last month of, you working for this, 2022, December. And one of them was supposed to be over bill list. Unfortunately, when you bring up all 3 of these meetings, they all say the same thing. The meeting was canceled on the 5th and the 19th, and on the 12th, we're gonna have a meeting for the bill list. It even says that on the one for the 12th. Now, I don't expect you to have the answer tonight.
The 3 that I told you in 2023, and then there was I think there's 2 in 2022.
So the bill list should be on the agenda somewhere. Now, obviously, you did the bill list. I mean, 2022, you did the bill list. And this is the most important thing. A couple months ago, I spoke to you about Memorial Day Parade. I spoke to you about budgeting the police officers to take care of this parade on Monday, as they have done for decades. The reason I'm bringing it up now is because I have to start planning this parade. And when you do that, I've got to have dates. I got to have assurances of what's going to happen. I got to know how much money I got to raise. So by next meeting, can I please have an answer to this question?
I will discuss with the mayor, since that falls under her.
Budget.
I understand that. Okay.
No, I know that falls under her budget. I know they prepared a budget. Budget goes to you, you approve the budget. And she spoke to the mayor, I mean, the attorney spoke before and said that our bills go to being the mayor to be approved. Kind of, they go to the BA and the mayor, then they go to you to be approved, right? So money always has to be approved by the council. And that's my biggest thing is the parade, because really it takes a lot of time. And I can't print anything at all until I have a dead date.
Okay.
Okay, so if we can work on that, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening. What's coaching going?
Both my teams won.
They won.
They won.
You said they were gonna lose.
No, I did not.
Yeah, that's what you said you never won again.
Oh, I said if they were not winning, you might not hear about it. But thank you.
Tom Grzybowski, 304 Brunswick Avenue. Last meeting I told you is about the truck on Brunswick Avenue. And the police know about it and everything else. There's nothing's been done about it. The truck wasn't there a couple days afterward. It's there right tonight. It's been there all weekend, on and on. The same house, 277 Brunswick Avenue, with all the cars and all the people living in that house, of the rental house. Didn't shovel their sidewalks. Go by tonight. Everything's not shoveled. If you go down the house next to them, which is, actually, I know the street behind it, your front of their house faces that side, but their sidewalk is on Brunswick Avenue side. That is also not shoveled, and it goes around onto Marley, which it isn't shoveled. The other modular house across the other side of Marley that was put in, I don't know, 8 years ago, has a sidewalk. That was shoveled tonight at 4:30. Now, I shoveled mine Saturday afternoon after the snow stopped. I know all my neighbors, some are present. You go up down Brunswick Avenue, everybody else did theirs. There's also another big ranch house that's on the same side of this street. So are they going around enforcing this? Because last year they had to show me about a little ordinance when some other people dumped all their snow in the middle of the street down on Brunswick Avenue, and gave me a $240 ticket because as I was trying to get my van off the side of my property after it was all snowed in, not knowing I had to get it out to take my cousin's wife for dialysis, Officer Fedak gave me a ticket when a chunk of snow came out of my snow blower. And I have that on my phone to show you. if you've ever wanted to see that. So my question is, who's going around and enforcing this? Because you're supposed to have your snow off your walks and stuff is supposed to be shoveled. Or is this only when you want to get back at somebody? Maybe I'll be getting it, or the Roncos will be getting it, or somebody else pisses them off here. And I'm not going to the police to do this. I'm going to go to a lawyer like I told you. I'm tired of telling you this. The truck is on there. It's 26,000 pounds. Divide 26,000 pounds in half. How many tons is that? 13? The sign says 4 ton. Anything over 4 ton. The truck's in that yard. How did it get there? It did not come from space.
I understand.
And we're still doing, and he goes up Burlington Avenue in the morning.
So I understand where you're coming from. I believe we spoke about it at the last meeting.
We cannot direct the police department. It is police officer discretion.
And that's ridiculous. Who runs the town? Does the mayor run the town? Isn't that what everybody is always led to believe? The police department enforces what's going on in the town. And I'd like to know, now that I found out about this cleanup of oil that supposedly is in this garage over here, is that the van or whatever the deal was? 'Cause I don't know how it happened, but I noticed 2 weeks ago that all the oil from the top of Old Stage Road, there's an oil slick all the way to the intersection. Why in God's name that wasn't cleaned up? Because I and many other people ride motorcycles, and I don't know if you ever went on oil after it rains. That should have been all cleaned up. Is that part of this whole thing? If somebody could find out, I'd like to know, because who's the person then? Why didn't they call DEP or somebody to clean that all up? It's the same thing like when the garbage trucks were leaving the borough yard, dumping the crap all on the side, coming around the street on my house, and there's all biohazard. And like I said, if it happens again, I'm calling them. I'm getting them involved because I told us about this. And Ed Celia backed this up. When he was mayor, I told him about this, and he works for a waste management company. He knows those trucks have a hopper on them. That hopper, you go under there, you open the valve, you drain it. Before that truck reaches that yard any day, then they should drain it. Because if there's all crap in there, biohazard. And you know, the residents, even though they're supposed to recycle the oil from their cooking, a lot of them are smart, you know, because they learn this. They put it in a bag and dump it in their garbage. Now they crush the garbage in the truck. The oil's all inside the truck. That's why you have the hopper in there also. So that better start getting enforced. And then I have another big question. This concerns one of I don't know what borough vehicle. What vehicle needed from Quality Chevrolet an engine and saying $14,151? Is this like a brand new car? What's the circumstance that it needed an engine, and why are we dealing with? Is there open bidding on this, like for Quality Chevrolet to be doing our work? That's a fairly new dealership.
It is a police department vehicle, but I can't access my computer because the screen broke.
Okay, well, I don't need to know that today. You just could get back to that. I want to know the year of the car and the mileage on the car, because that way I could figure out if it was even worth putting an engine in there. I've bought many motors, but it might be something extremely different because it's a police car. Like I say, it's a police package. So
You said quality shipping, right?
correct.
I believe that's under state contract.
Oh, so I'm figuring it's probably, yeah, just like with the tires, they have a setup with the, you know, with Bridgestone or whatever. So, but do they have to bid on this stuff to get our work, or do they just bring it there?
If it's under state contract, then it's state contract prices.
So why does the state dictate that a policeman's car has to go there? If we're the borough, we buy the cars.
You could bid out, have another preferred vendor, or you can use state contract.
So then why don't we ever get prices, or do we get prices on, like from Mike's Tire, who we deal with for stuff, and there's a few other garages in town that might be able to do this type of work.
You can either, it's up to each department. Do they want to use state contract pricing, or do they want to use bid pricing?
Well, isn't the idea though, with the council and with people that are running these departments, isn't the idea to save money and to do it the cheapest and efficient way? If it's the same deal like we do with the roads, like when that contractor paved the bottom of Brunswick Avenue and then went bankrupt right after he got his bond and everything back, and to this day, nothing's ever been done about that.
State contract is typically the lowest price because you're getting the quantity of bidding. So multiple towns, multiple bidding, you'll get a lower price. If you just do one bid to a vendor, you're doing it based off of Spotswood's bidding power. So if we're only going to send them 2 cars, but Quality Chevrolet is getting 4,000 cars throughout the state, they're giving you a better price. And that's when the bidding process is being done by the state versus the town.
Okay, then the other thing I'd like to know about this particular vehicle is, especially the year, because I want to find out if they know in a year we're going to be getting rid of it. Maybe that's the reason it's getting a new engine in. So when it goes to bid for someone's buddy, they'll be getting a brand new car, basically, with a brand new engine in. Are we going to keep this car in the service? I'm hoping for years to come. And then I'd like to even know why the engine failed. Because if you do maintenance on this stuff, most of the stuff is pretty bulletproof today. It stays. If you do oil changes the proper way, you usually get a lot of miles out of these cars. Doesn't matter who's sitting there idling all that time. If the service is done on them today, they're pretty damn reliable. So, and one other thing is just, you know, because I noticed it, nobody else driving around town. It was on New York Avenue. There's also another box truck with New York signs all over the side of it at a private house too. But I know nobody can do nothing about it because, you know, I guess the neighbors like looking at the New York signs all over the side. Maybe if they come home with graffiti on it, it'll remind them of living in their hometown, New York.
Sorry, I spoke up a little bit. Sorry. Ed Seeley, 88 Elm Street, Spotswood, New Jersey. I just need to correct something. While the mayor cannot tell an officer to give anybody a ticket, police discretion is only in traffic matters, not borough ordinances. Under the mayor's job title, S224A, enforce the charter and ordinances of the borough. What has to happen is she has to direct, or the council, direct the code enforcement to go out and check the situation out. He finds there's a problem, then he goes to the police and has the police issue a summons to remove that.
Code enforcement can do the snow. Code enforcement cannot do the 4-ton restriction.
Why not?
It's a moving violation.
It's not a moving violation, the truck's parked.
You're going to. I'm
Moving
not going
violation.
to comment on how the police department.
So you're saying that we
park
currently
there,
have-
they really can't do anything about
So
it.
we
When it
currently have
moves
no
and
ordinance.
goes onto the road, then he's violating the moving violation on the road.
We currently have no ordinance that says no trucks over 4 ton.
You can have, I believe there's an ordinance that says you can have 1 commercial vehicle at your house. I'd have to check. Again, my computer's not working.
I know.
But
so I'm looking for help.
again,
When did that?
Police department-
get in effect?
police department has
That's
title
so
court. Can we get control of the audience, Council President? I mean, if he's gonna talk, he can come up to the microphone. If the mayor, if any mayor would then give orders to the police department to go cite in.
I didn't say that. I
You can
just
tell them to
did not
go
say-
out and check it. It's still their discretion.
No. I'm not buying this at all because to me, traffic ordinance is
You need to
speeding,
read Title
is
40.
careless driving, is reckless driving, is an accident. This has been explained to me by chiefs of police of other towns. Because I asked this question after the last meeting when someone said, I can't do that. I know what you can and can't do.
There's an analogy that was given to me when I first became an administrator. You can tell the police chief to take the hill. The manner and how many police officers he goes over the hill with is his discretion.
Well, unfortunately, right now, the problem we seem to have is there's just too many people telling the police department what to do and how to do it. And exactly, that's my opinion. Thank you so much.
You said it earlier, so I figured I'd put it.
Yeah, it's all right. I again appreciate the fact that you're addressing me because I know you gotta go to the council, but you really don't have to if he says no.
He asked me to start addressing people, so
There
I
you
guess
go.
I have a little bit of a leeway that I can address people.
But I'm just saying, if I were still mayor, and I'm not, never will be again, I said that clearly, never will be again, I would have the code enforcement go out and check this out, whether I'm right or wrong. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Diane Charlesworth, 29 Old Stage Road. I talked a little bit about the website and I'd like to continue because there's a lot of stuff missing. There are no council meetings for there are no meeting minutes, I should say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 meetings of last year. The planning and zoning board minutes, all of 2023 are missing, and the rec department minutes, all of 2022 and 2023 are missing. So what are we going to do about that?
I'll add, one of two things.
Okay,
Either you can email me what you noticed was missing, or I will speak with Tim and we will go through, Tim and to Jenny, and we will go through what is missing and see if we can update
if
everything.
you,
I'm not sure, I'm not sure what got lost in translation and going over to the new website.
okay,
If they were on there prior to, I would have expected them to be on there as we made the transition.
okay,
So I can't say, I noticed today and I emailed him that the December 18th meeting, when you logged on, it was going straight to a live meeting, not into
Okay.
this room and
Okay.
not the meeting, and Tim fixed it. So it's just a matter, I think, of
do
finding
you
what
want me
is
to
wrong.
just email him the stuff? The dates and stuff, I can do that. I'll do it to both of you, how's that?
Perfect, thank you,
Cover all the bases, my darling.
appreciate it.
Okay, one final question. I know that, we're not allowing new buildings of homes in the borough right now because of water restrictions, correct?
Well, we can submit to the DEP and they give special waivers. There was 2 residents that asked for it last year and they granted it.
Oh, they granted 2, I think. They denied it.
Really?
Okay, so where did the water come from for the construction for the warehouse? Obviously, they needed water to do that.
Not understanding the question.
I think probably because it was an existing use already there, so I think that's probably why, but I don't want to.
Actually, no, you
Yeah, I'll ask Nancy.
They have a direct line from East Brunswick that strictly feeds from East Brunswick, so
Thank you.
no problem.
I just wondered if it was part of the rights that we got from Schweitzer, because I know that's kind of on hold right now, right?
That's being negotiated, but it's just, it's really an ability to pull more water from the aquifer. That's what you're negotiating. You don't actually get like a well from Schweitzer to pull water.
Okay, how do we get it then?
You'd have to drill a new well. But you're only permitted to draw a certain amount of water from the aquifer based on the daily and monthly usage that the DEP gives to each town. That's your water allocation.
Does that cover just those water rights, or does it cover our 2 existing wells now as well?
So it's an overall,
Okay,
it's what you can draw from the aquifer.
and it's divided up.
And wells are rated at how much they can pull up from the aquifer. So if we had a big enough well that said we can, let's say they say you can get an additional 5 million gallons a month that you can pull from the aquifer. If our wells don't have the capacity to bring that, then you have to build another well to do it. Just because they give you the capacity doesn't mean you actually have the infrastructure to pull it up.
Is that something we're gonna have to do with the water rights from Schweitzer, is build a new well there?
I mean, we'd have to figure out where is best to drill it. It needs to be on borough land, obviously.
Okay, yeah,
But it would be based off of how the DEP would give us approval. So certain areas are not permitted to be drilled into the aquifer. What we currently just did was working under our current water allocation, drilling a new well over at the VFW.
on Denver Road.
Yeah.
Okay. One last question. Does the municipal alliance still exist? And if so, who's running it?
The municipal alliance does exist, and I suppose our community affairs director would be the appropriate head of the committee.
Okay. Does it have members? Do you have like meetings?
So over the past X amount of time, as long as you become programs in the school that we are paying for, we have some connections that provide good services for the students. As far as membership, we are always looking for new volunteers. You know where to reach me on that if you'd like to help out. But no, there's not really membership right now.
Okay, thank you.
So Steve Bronco, so December 31st, I Oprah requested, I included you in that Oprah request.
Yes.
There was an extension for 10 days for no legal basis. When am I getting this video, of Larry Bowman and the mayor's racist, comments?
I have to refer that to the attorney.
When am I getting this video? It's already been sent to the, Middlesex County Prosecutor's
I
Office.
know a lot about a video that's been.
There's a lawsuit.
Oh my God, give it up, Vicky.
There's
Give
a
it up.
lawsuit that says that you tried, saying that it was sent to media and, you didn't know what it was, but yet it was sent to the prosecutor's office. When am I getting this video?
So, Mr. Rocco, you will get a response from the clerk, and that should make sense. I know you've asked for this before, and you've been denied because it was the subject of an internal affairs investigation.
That's irrelevant
No,
to
it's
a,
not.
to a video. That's already case law.
That's the answer.
So December 31st, you asked for an illegal, 10-day extension, because there's no legal basis for it. When am I getting it? It's sent to the prosecutor's office. It's available.
I can't answer. That's out of my, we go through the attorney to tell us what we can and can't do.
So I asked for disciplinary records as well.
Those are not subject to-
Yes, they are. I included the Attorney General's guidelines on that. Yes, they are.
So, Mr. Rocco, whatever is permitted by Oprah, will be provided to you. What's not, will not, in an answer.
Somebody did all this quick so I can see it.
So,
Yeah. Multiple lawsuits.
Mr. President, just so you know, there's nothing illegal about requesting an extension.
You have to have a legal basis for it.
So you may ask for it. There's nothing illegal.
You have to have a legal basis. You can't just say,
No, the clerk's office is not acting outside, what's permitted by law when they've written extensions.
what's the legal basis?
I just gave it to you. They can ask for an extension if they need to.
With a legal basis, correct. What's the legal basis?
An extension has been asked for, not asked for.
Not granted. I can deny it. There's no legal basis for it. Just the craziness. The worst attorney in the state, in my opinion.
Colleen Ronco. I'm getting real tired of you attacking my husband and my family. And it's gonna stop tonight or I'm gonna file a complaint with the bar. Don't say a word to me, Vicky. Don't say a word. I'm real tired. No, if you don't like it, then leave. Then you can get up and leave. But I'm tired of you attacking me. It's your mayor that sat there and told everybody about her husband. It's your mayor that sat there and tells everybody about everything. So guess what? Jerry's the one with the big mouth. I'm getting real tired of you attacking my family. Send the state police to my house again and see what happens. Yes, you did. You're a liar.
Nobody sent them, but they're out.
Yeah, nobody sent them. But yet they came here based on what you guys told them. Bullshit, Vicky. You're full of shit.
Council President. That is not permitted.
Yes, it is permitted.
Rutherford, New Jersey.
Yeah, exactly. First Amendment, they used to try to make it a constitutional
Excuse me.
class.
Can you please stop?
For you, yes, I will, Nick.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just one quick question. Just a question.
Oh, and by the way, that's my opinion.
Just at the list.
I know, but when I hear things they confuse me. Ed Sealy, 80 Elm Street, Spotswood, New Jersey. As far as the water well. Any thought to reactivating George Street? Because when you get water rights like you got from the Schweitzers, that doesn't mean you have to drill near their property. You can drill anywhere you want, any spot with it. But at one time, we looked into regenerating that particular pump station. Because obviously, if I remember correctly, you would no problem with this Schweitzer water. I think 60% of it is radionuclide.
To be honest, my office didn't handle the water rights side, but to be honest.
Well, that means
I
I
don't-
don't have to go deeper.
Yeah, I don't, to be clear, we could drill somewhere else or we could use existing infrastructure. We're not spending any money yet until I know that I have that.
I understand that. I just wanted to make sure George Street was still in consideration because it's already in for well. It just has to be reopened.
It's closed, it's sealed right now, from my understanding.
Yeah, just metal cap.
You need a well, you need a lot
I'm
of.
just saying, instead of going to all the expense of reporting another one somewhere else. You've already got the basis. Thank you.
That's the last.
I hope so.
Thank you.
Can I make a motion to close the public portion? I'll make a motion to close the public portion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.